So we want to understand what is probability. Now, if you go with the definition of probability, it is a branch of mathematics that deals with the occurrence of a random event. Right, so we'll talk about like what is random event. If you just try to understand it with much more easier way, I want to gauze some kind of numbers associated with future. For example, something is going to happen. I wanted to measure the mathematical entity, how it is going to be deployed, or I would say probably what are the chances of getting rain today, what are the chances of me reaching on time in the office, or what will be the probability that I wanted to get the raise of say 15% or 20%. Now every time, like, future is uncertain, right? And when we talk about future, when we wanted to pick up some kind of events in the future, we wanted to always gauze or connect with some kind of mathematical entity with my future events, so that I can understand how certain something is. So if you simply say what probability means, it simply means possibility. So the meaning of probability is basically to an extent to which something is likely to happen, right? Whether something will happen or something will not happen, or what are the mathematical entities. With the help of those mathematical entities, I can understand whether something is going to happen or not, right? So if you talk about the like in nutshell what probability is all about, so probability is the measure of how likely an event and outcome is. And like in this whole world, there everything which is happening, I can almost align probability to almost like everything in this world, right? Whatever is happening around, I can always gauze some kind of probabilities with that logic. Now, why we wanted to learn probability in the daily life or in business? So most of the time we wanted to learn probability because we have some business problems that are associated with it, and we wanted to solve those business problems. So for example, I would say, you know what, this year my turnover is 120 million USD, and in the next year I am expecting that that my sales would be, or my my total product sale will be approximately 150 million USD. Now the problem is that I am assuming that, but what are the probability, what are the chances of getting something done, right? So if I say I'm 95% sure that my sales would be approximately 150 million USD in future. Now business wanted to use this probability methods to identify how certain they are, right? And right, because they are always interested in knowing what is going to happen in future, to to a certain extent where they can put money on those logics, or they can put in some kind of business, so that they can rely on some kind of investment, or they can be prepared for the future. For example, if we just talk about the share market, right? We always take probability into our consideration. So we kind of have a gut feeling, or based on the news, or based on the based on the different different vibes about the news or information we get, right? Whether something is going to be, or some kind of government is rolling out some kind of plan, a new plan. We always kind of, with the help of gut feelings, we always say that I'm 100% sure that this stock is going to be having a very good gain, or this stock is going to fall, and something, and all those things, right? We kind of use gut feelings always, right? Now if you're going with the gut feeling, then again it's not associated with mathematics. But if somebody can tell you that the 95% surety is that this stock is going to be up, right, you would like to place a bet on that. So basically, any business always wanted to gauge some kind of some kind of association with the future, and based on that, right, they wanted to pick up some mathematical entity, what is going to happen in the future, and based on that they wanted to put in their money and efforts in those direction. So this is what probability is all about, right? So now if you understood the definition of probability, right, we can describe probability in multiple other ways. And what is that, right? One is like we can describe the probability of certain something happening in some terms, right? For example, if I say certain, right, which means that in future this is going to happen for sure, right? Which means that 100% probability, or you say one probability. We'll talk about that, right? How do you measure probability and all? Something is likely to happen, right? This probably will happen but not definitely, which means that I would say that tomorrow is going to be rain, more probably, but it's more likely to have, we are likely to have rain in this week, but I'm not definite. It may or may not happen, but there are higher chances that it may happen. Unlikely means that event will probably not happen, but it might. Right? So I would say that if I'm going to office, that I will probably not get late, but I may get late in case of some events, right? And something which is impossible, for example, anything, right? For example, that uh, that I will be able to gain the power of 20 humans. That is impossible event, right? This is not going to happen at all. Or for example, that there is no possibility that I'm going to reverse the time, or certain things which are impossible, right? If you see, there are n number of examples out there which you can think of, they are impossible. So there are several examples of certainty, likely, unlikely, and impossible events which you can think of. So I hope you're getting the idea of probability. We'll talk more on like why to learn probability and what are the use cases of it. I'll see you in the next video.